All right, guys, this is segment two of the video. So we already talked about the analysis and you know you know this better than me. So this is the tornado track of this tornado specifically. This
And
actually was made this year by the National Weather Service in Paducah, and it was shown at the anniversary event at Murfreesboro High School earlier this year. So okay, so I'm going to zoom in real quick here where this starts. So this is the tornado started at 12:42 p.m. Central Standard Time in in eastern Shannon County. So just hill west, just west of Blair Creek, and then the tornado entered into Reynolds County at 12:50. Helen Helen Thompson and other sources talk of extensive orchard hardwood tree outbuilding damage on Scott Farm. It's at John Scott's farm on Logan Creek. And then the tornado hit north of Ellington, hit the community of Dry Valley, an unnamed farms with tree damage. Tornado seen by rural carrier saw several saw tree damage after the tornado exited, which is through newspaper articles. And then Sam Flowers was riding horse from Ellington to his home south of Redford, stopped to seek shelter, but he was killed by a tree that fell. The horse went home. His body found the next his body was found the next morning. So that was the first death of that tornado cycle. And then several reports of the damage, including those living nearby, but few details were given.
and first off, everybody, a welcome to Roaring Skies Deep Cut Edition. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe in this crazy weather season. And as Mason was just previously talking about, today we are going to be mentioning the deadliest tornado in U.S. history, the Tri-State tornado of March 18th, 1925, that would be on the ground for over three
Oh,
hours and track over 200
Nick,
miles.
um, I think I already said that in the recording I did earlier.
Well, I just kind of wanted to reiterate it, if that's all right.
Okay, that's all right. So,
Well,
continuing on this damage path, Bryson Hollow, which is also in Reynolds County, estimate time 1:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. I need to reiterate that back then there was no daylight savings time, so it was just standard time. So that's why today I'm going to be saying Central Standard Time instead of Central Daylight Time because usually on March 18th we'd be in Central Daylight Time, but not in this instance. Tornado. So the at around 1:02 p.m. Central Standard Time, the tornado was seen south of Redford by Postmaster Mr. Neal. No details on damage, nothing severe suggested, few details given. And then upper low hollow estimated at 1:06 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is also still in Reynolds County. Written account from Cheney. Clara Brown said there was timber damage in upper low hollow. And then the Black River, she said Claire Brown's husband-to-be was cutting timber, saw the tornado near the Black River north of Highway K. And by the way, I need to real quick show everyone what they actually. So this is an example of what the outlook would have looked like for from the Storm Prediction Center. So this is what it would look like.
And Mason, I just find that absolutely insane that this took place so long ago, and yet it's a bunch of the information is still readily available that the National Weather Service published and did all of that. And I just cannot believe that earlier this
Um,
year we came up on
okay,
a
so
hundred years of this
I need to stop
tornado
you real quick.
happening. What's up?
There's not much details in this tornado still
Yeah, but
because this was so
there
long ago. Um, but
there's
so
some out there.
what we are wanting to do, we will probably revisit this tornado in the future as well
Yeah,
because
yeah,
because we're not going to be able to mention everything today, of course.
no, but I just can't believe this
And then
tornado took place 100 years ago.
figuratively speaking, this is what the tornado watch would look like if one would have been issued.
Do you think today, with today's tornado watches and warnings, do you think we would have got a PDS tornado watch?
Um, okay, so there was only, as far as we know, there was only one violent tornado out of this storm system specifically.
Yeah, I know. I was just wanting to add that with all the
I
with the high risk, huh?
I really don't know, but yes, probably.
I think it would be
Yes,
safe to
that
say,
probably
looking.
would have happened.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say with looking at the synopsis and with the risk and everything, I think it's safe to say that we would have had a couple, like if this tornado were to happen today, I think it's safe to say that we would have had a PDS tornado watch and maybe a tornado and maybe constant tornado
This
emergencies with how
this was
violent this
this
thing was and with
was
how long it
this was
tracked.
the oh, I'm sorry. This was the surface map.
Man,
One of the surface maps at least. And then around the time the tornado was coming through, this was the surface map.
yeah.
And I talked about it earlier with the previous recording of this about this. So you guys if you guys wanted to know, all right, so okay, today I'm if if there's a copyright, I'll tell them that we're just doing this for research purposes for the video. So this is out
Yeah.
of Iron County. This is out of Iron County, Missouri,
And
which
looking at
this
damage like that,
tornado,
that's incredible to see, or not incredible in a good way, but just incredible damage.
yeah, unfortunately it is. And then this is the damage from the coal mine.
I actually remember seeing this photo in I think a documentary I watched about it. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was listing off the top 10 F5s of the last
Wait,
like 100 years or so or
I
something like
think
that.
I think this picture showed up on that video that that thing that KPS did.
Yeah.
Chris, please calm yourself. Okay. So this is a picture of a home just west of, let me see, west of Sedgwickville in Bullinger County. All right, let me see what's going on over here. Okay. Is it showing pictures or is it off of your screen?
Yeah, yeah, it's showing it. I can see them.
All right. Okay, so this was a picture from downtown Beale. Beale is on the Perry Cape Girardeau County line.
Look at that tree,
So and also I'm gonna tell you guys, in 1925, the homes were mostly built of wood.
yeah,
This is pretty good quality for 1925.
absolutely. It's very good quality for 1925, given that cameras were just in their infancy back then.
Yeah. And then this is a picture of a home that has been flattened. This home was unfortunately flattened by the tornado, and we unfortunately unfortunately became a story that happens repeatedly throughout the tornado cycle.
Throughout the tornado's track.
Yeah, through the tornado cycle. That's just what I'm going to call
Yeah.
it, the cycle. And then this is in Beale still. And on a graphic, it's noted that during this part of the tornado's path, it's noted that the tornado had two funnels on while it was at this area. So just letting you guys know, that's what was noted on there.
And one thing that I think Mason, you may have mentioned this, but in case you didn't, I would like to mention this. There's many who believe that this tornado was two separate tornadoes, but um, that's I'm open to your interpretation. But there's some meteorologists who believe this was two separate tornadoes, like one touched down and like occluded and died out, and another one touched down and continued the track. But that's up to
But
your
it
own
was
conclusion.
You
but
don't lose your fucking IQ.
oh my goodness gracious. There's a part I have to cut out.
Mason, I gotta tell you
There
something. Hold on.
there's a part I gotta cut out.
Hold on a second.
Chris's F word came across the screen. Came
Yeah,
across the I'm just telling you now. So I'll probably put on this episode explicit content just because he said that once.
Mason, do you just want to end this and just come back to it in a little while because this is gonna keep continuing.
No, it's all right. We can do this.
Okay.
It's already well past midnight. So, so this is a picture from Gorm. By the way, Gorm is in western Jackson County, which,
Yeah.
okay, so story about me. I don't live that far away from Gorm. About less than 20 minutes.
I was gonna say it's down about like around where you live, and I think at one point, whenever I get my camera equipment up and running, that we should go down there and like do like a video down there and do like a remembrance type of deal. Would you like to do that?
Probably. Okay, so, all right, now we're going to go to this one. Okay, so the description of this picture, I'll look at it in a second. So, this is damage from Gorm as well after the tornado happened.
Wow, that's incredible
So,
damage. What were you saying? I'm sorry,
I'm going to
I didn't mean to interrupt you, bud.
I'm going to cook off this real quick and say, so devastation in Gorm, where 35 people were killed, and
Rest in
every
peace.
structure was damaged or destroyed. By the way, any picture that comes from Jackson County will come is coming from the Jackson County Historical Society, which
Okay.
they have their office in Murfreesboro. So this is a picture of the railroad in the area, and this railroad track does go through my town.
But my lord, look at that devastation. That's just incredible. And then, like you said, there is some information on this tornado, but most of it's really scarce. Unlike most tornadoes that we have had in the past few years, but still incredible damage, as you all can see, of this violent tornado.
And
He's on his villain arc, bro.
so let's go ahead and so this was what was left of. I think this was a school, and this was a post office.
And Mason, correct me if I am wrong, but didn't the population of Gorham shrink after the tornado came through? Like people moved out and stuff like that? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Moved out significantly.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So Gorham is actually almost no longer a community at this point in 2025.
Yeah. Because I know once this tornado.
Gorham was a bustling town back in
Yeah.
1925 until the tornado came through. And by the way, just three to four short years later, they would go. This part of Illinois would go through a lot because of the Great Depression. Is literally knocking on their doorstep.
I know. That's absolutely crazy. This happened like right before the Great Depression, so that made the people who still lived here situation even worse. So it's almost like they got no escape from what just happened to them.
You're mad at what?
So this is Murfreesboro before the tornado happened. Hello, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here, bud. I'm still here. I'm just looking at this
Okay.
photo right here.
And
Because I want to
then
see if we can show this on
here's
screen,
that.
but
And then here's this. This
that is
is in
absolute total
Murfreesboro. So,
devastation right there.
and by the way, again, this is a before.
So it's a before and after.
Yes, they went ahead and
And
posted a
Mason,
before and after.
didn't this tornado grow to a mile and like over a mile at a certain point in its life? Because I
A
think it
mile and
did.
a half. So,
I
okay,
was gonna
so
say a mile and a half, but I wanted
I
to make sure though.
mentioned earlier to Nick that the the damage actually stretched past where this tornado was going through because
Yeah,
you had you had very strong outflow coming into the tornado. And that outflow was causing more damage than the tornado was at some points. Because most likely the outflow was so strong that blew over trees. It blew roofs off of houses. It tore down houses because back in 1925, houses were built of wood.
and that's gonna be one of the first things to go during a tornado. That's gonna be one of the first things to go because that's not gonna survive a violent a tornado of this intensity. That's not gonna survive that. So
They calculated in this tornado specifically. By the way, it has not been confirmed that this is an EF5 or F5, but based on the damage, we can say that safe to say that it was an EF5. F5.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree that this was an EF5 because some of the damage you see of homes swept off their foundations, trees snapped like twigs, and as you can see, whole neighborhood blocks completely turned into what almost looks like powder. I would
By the
100% agree
way,
that this thing was
everybody,
an F5.
this is in Murfreesboro.
Huh?
This is in the Murfreesboro area.
So, what part of Murfreesboro would this be in? Because you and I have been to Murfreesboro so many times. What part do you think this was at?
I can actually check real quick.
Yeah. For those that don't know, me and
We can go
Mason both
back to
live
the tornado
relatively
track.
close to Murfreesboro, and we live
I li
close to the
I
towns
actually
in
live
Illinois that
closer.
were
I actually
impacted.
live closer. I actually live
I have.
closer to Murfreesboro to comparison. So, the tornado hit Gorham, and then yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of damage here.
And as you can see right there, 234 deaths. My lord, that is absolutely catastrophic that many death tolls occurred there.
There's a lot of damage indicators here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like there's a lot of damage indicators here.
Mm-hmm. And another scary thing about this tornado is that
Like
a
this is
lot
the
of
majority of Murfreesboro.
yeah, it hit the city dead center.
Like this is the downtown area right here, where I have my arrow here. This is the downtown
Yeah,
area. And then it went north and then went straight and barreled for DeSoto.
yeah.
By the way, we're going to try to get this out of the way. We're going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the tornado path beyond Murfreesboro. So, so there were 234 deaths in Murfreesboro. That some of them were not related to the tornado, actually. Some of those
Some of
deaths were
them
from fires that occurred that happened. So people went ahead and sheltered in the basement of some businesses, and that's where that's where the furnaces were and collapsed and they caught on
Hey
fire,
Mason, what'd you say you're lagging there, bud?
essentially burning them alive.
Hey Mason, you're lagging pretty bad.
Hold
What'd you
on.
say, bud?
One,
Yeah, you're starting to lag a little bit.
one second. One second.
All right, looks like Mason's having some technical difficulty. Oh, okay. It looks like you're having technical difficulties right now, so I can just mention this briefly. While you were working on that at the moment, a lot of people and farmers and people in the path did not recognize this tornado shape because of how it looked, and there was actually a poll taken of
What?
the
Did I get
tri-state
ripped stuff?
tornado
Did I get
survivors,
ripped stuff?
and
Did I get
and there was a poll of tornadoes that
Um,
have F5s or violent tornadoes that have occurred in the last couple decades. And whenever they were asked what tornado that closely resembled the tornado that they saw that took place on that day, the one that they all agreed upon was the Wichita Falls tornado of 1979, which for example looks like this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on.
am I back?
Oh, yeah, you're back. But before you
Yeah,
got back, I was gonna
my
I was gonna show them
my screen just went
what I told you earlier.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going back to this again. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right.
But
Christopher, please watch your mouth.
But there was one thing that
You just went on mute.
I'm sorry, but there is one thing I wanted to show them because whenever a bunch of the people were asked about what the tornado looked like whenever these meteorologists came up to them and showed them tornadoes that have happened over the last couple of years, these violent tornadoes, all of the victims agreed that the tornado looks like this one I'm about to pull up. I'm trying to find one that's not copyright. Let me see.
I had to switch the animation thing because it was kind of stuck on this side here, you know.
Hold on.
So
There we go.
okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry about the technical difficulties, guys, tonight.
Yeah, we are sorry about these technical difficulties of us having to censor a lot of stuff and cut the mics off and all this and that. But I'm trying to find the Wichita Falls tornado on here because a lot of people agreed that the tornado that they saw on March 18th, 1925 was in resemblance to the Wichita Falls. I'm trying to find a image of it that is not copyrighted, but it doesn't look like there is one. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to come back to that, but Mason, if you want to continue on, I think we can. I'm just going to be looking for it at the moment. If you want to continue on.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to show the thing anymore because it's taking up a lot of my hardware here,
Yeah.
and this computer's starting to wear out on me. So
Do you want me to pull it up?
okay, so I'm going to describe it in words so that people know. Okay, so by the way, in Murfreesboro, thousands were left homeless. That's a that's something we have to tell you. Thousands of people were left homeless. Then in West Frankfort, the estimated time this tornado hit was 2:57. There were 148 deaths in West Frankfort. There were 500 plus
Listen,
homes
that
were
image, I found one
destroyed
that's not
in West
copyrighted.
Frankfort. Then Parrish, Parrish was hit at 3:04. The town of Parrish is in Franklin County. The that town is no longer an incorporated town,
Mason, you're
so
lagging pretty badly.
unfortunately lost the
You're
town
lagging.
to tornado. Nobody came back to Parrish. So the estimated time that this tornado hit was 3:04 Central Standard Time. Again, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
All right, looks like Mason's having some technical difficulties, but ladies and gentlemen, I have found the image of the Wichita Falls tornado of 1979
Close out Discord because I don't need it.
that did take place. So I wanted to bring this picture on screen because I think that you guys should see this right here. So when asked about the tornado that they saw on March 18, 1925, this is what you get. This right here was a tornado that hit Wichita Falls in 1979. So this is what closely resembles what they saw on March 18, 1925. So that is pure nightmare fuel. I can't imagine seeing something like this whenever I'm coming outside onto my porch just to drink a cup of coffee and just, just enjoy the view. But this is what it looked like. This is what they said it looked like, and that is horrifying to see. I can't imagine seeing that, but nature is horrifying sometimes, y'all, and that's something we have to consider. We are also very, very puny compared to these natural disasters that take place in our world and our country. And I just wanted to put that on notice for everybody. So yeah.
Now I'm back.
All right, you back, Mason?
Again. I'm back again. Hopefully I'm back for the rest of this. If it's not, then I will switch to my phone.
Alrighty.
I'll switch
I
my
was
phone,
able
so help me God.
to find a picture of the Wichita Falls tornado that was not copyrighted. I showed it to the stream while you were gone because I just told them that there was a poll of people who whenever meteorologists and tornado surveyors asked them to describe what they saw, the Wichita Falls wedge is what they said was what mostly resembled what they saw that day, and that is absolutely horrifying to say the least. But it must have been a horrifying experience to look at a picture and relive all those memories that happened to you so long ago. So I just can't imagine. Mason, your audio cut out. But while we are on the topic, back on the. Hold on, let me look at this 1 second.
Come on.
One.
You back with us, Mason? It looks like you're recording on 2 screens right now, so. But
This is just in case.
yeah. Yeah.
Do not give me the ball.
And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this tornado would go down to be the deadliest tornado in U.S. history. And I just want to put the track back on screen since you said that you weren't able to. So I'll put it back on screen right now. So
Okay, so I decided that I'm just going to use my phone for the rest of this. Oh, come on. Hold on. It's not going to work.
what's going on, Mason?
I'm trying to flip my screen, but since we're already recording, it's not going to work.
Okay, but
So there's that.
I went ahead and put the track back on screen for the viewers to see. I'm gonna briefly keep on. I'm gonna.
By the way, that synopsis I already described in the first video.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to put some just as in the background, but one other thing that I want to show on here is let me show this. Whoopsie, I made a mistake.
I'm hearing doubles of you right now, Nick.
The fucking eye. Someone switch it.
Nick, you may want to fix your audio because I'm hearing doubles of you. I'm just wanting to let you know that I'm hearing 2 of you. When I should be only hearing 1 of you.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
And I just went ahead and put this on screen as well, but oops. I just went ahead and put this on screen right now. The all the counties that were impacted by this tornado and the 3 states it hit, which for those of you that don't know why it's called the Tri-State, now you see now, and I wanted to show the
Okay, so this tornado hit Illinois, it hit Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana.
I play in the living room.
And by the way, there was other tornadoes there. Was there an F4 that day too? In Indiana and Kentucky.
Yes, there was. It says there was a F4 tornado that hit some town in Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, and it caused 4 deaths. A large violent tornado impacted 27 farmsteads in Indiana, many of which were leveled. Some entire farmsteads were obliterated.
I think that storm was part of the same supercell.
The one that produced the Tri-State F5?
Yeah.
Devins.
Let me zoom in and see. I'm gonna zoom into this and see what time it. Never mind, because this tornado up here happened. Oh, so it said 2. My goodness. No, never mind. That one was different because it says to 22:30. Started at 22:15. So it wouldn't be.
All right. It says this tornado caused
2,650 yards is what it says on the width, the estimated width of that tornado. That's almost that's over 2 miles wide, I think.
that is absolutely horrifying. To see something to see a behemoth like that.
It was either 2 miles wide or the tornado or that tornado either that or that tornado absolutely had an incredible amount of outflow.
Yeah.
And this was also a big severe weather day for Alabama too.
Yeah, let me scroll down to that too. Let me see.
And you see a lot of tornadoes that were on the ground for
double-digit miles. Yeah.
Yes. You see a tornado that was on the ground for 60 miles. That was in Marion, Washington, Mercer, Jessamine, Fayette, and Bourbon counties in Kentucky. Which I think at the time was the longest tracking tornado in Kentucky until the 2021 tornado occurred.
Yeah, until the 2021 Mayfield tornado, which we previously covered last week, but I'm going to go back.
Yes, we covered on this specific podcast last week. By the way, it should be able to do that now. You should be able to, if you guys want to watch Roaring Skies, you should be able to click on a link on this podcast to redirect you to the original podcast. I worked on that for hours upon hours. So hopefully that's settled. Just to everything all right over there, Nick?
Yeah, I'm looking up something. It says this tornado.
So search Tristate tornado and search it with Paducah at the end of it. So
Okay, but there is one thing that I do want to mention. You see right there how it says this tornado caused $17 million in damage. And the reason I was quiet for a second is because I was like adjusting for inflation today, and then the inflation for today
it'd be billions of dollars.
Yeah. It says that the equivalent today would be roughly about $314 million.
I would think it would be in the billions.
It would roughly be around $314 million. So we are continuing a trend of very expensive tornadoes that have occurred throughout history. So this thing caused a lot of damage in its life, and $314 million is a lot of money to cause damage to.
And by the way, we've gone through a lot of tornadoes that have had triple-digit crack in the last decade.
Yes.
The Mayflower tornado was on the ground for 100-something miles.
The Mayflower Valonia tornado, I thought that one was just on the ground for maybe like 30 or 40 miles or something.
The Mayflower tornado?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was on the ground way longer than that.
It says the tornado, let me look. It says it was on the ground, for 41 miles.
Not the one in 2022, the one in 2014.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It says the Mayflower tornado traveled on a 41.3 mile path in northeasterly direction across parts of Pulaski, Faulkner, and White counties in Arkansas.
I'll real quick go ahead and say in Pulaski and
he has no interior defense because
it was considered the catalyst for the 12-year-long EF5 drought, sparking just discussion with the meteorological community.
Mm-hmm.
The final rating of the tornado was source of controversy, with some damage analysis considering EF5 damage was possible. And the National Weather Service office in Little Rock said it likely would have rated an F5 on the old Vegeta scale.
Yeah.
On
I am back on the map that you wanted to that you were on a moment ago, so I'll go ahead and put that back on screen now.
So we're still in so I'm gonna real quick zoom into Hamilton County.
Yeah. Where is that at on here?
It should say it.
Let me zoom
Because
out.
it just says Hamilton County.
He wants to run point guard.
So I'm gonna real quick read this one out. So Bertha Hill Barn at approximately 3:20 was destroyed. Moses Mayberry's home was damaged.
More than you.
John Biggerstaff's home was destroyed. Home. So James Clark's farm was swept away. Leslie Prince's place on Jake Hefner's farm. The home was mostly destroyed and barn completely destroyed. Mrs. Leslie Prince was injured and her baby son was killed. Unfortunately. Buildings on Christine Michelle's farm. Home and outbuildings destroyed. And then this storm entered White County. And as it entered White County, it's the county directly to the east of Hamilton. So Lizzie DeVoy's home in White County, approximately 3:31 p.m. Central Standard Time, the part of the roof was blown off the home of the Lizzie DeVoy's home. Joseph Myhauer's farm. Home damaged and 3 barns were destroyed. Many trees were blown down. The damage was south of Enfield on the north edge of the path. Damage info. John H. Strawberry Wilson's home. His home was destroyed.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that for you.
His home was destroyed. I'm just reading the information as I go.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to click on it if you don't want to. I have it on my screen.
Okay, I'll just keep it right here.
So, okay, so this for these damage indicators, that's the reason why we can do a deep info episode.
Yeah, because information like this was not available at all 100 years ago. But I'm just so happy with the day and technology we have that we can roughly estimate the path and the strength and everything. I'm just glad with all the technology we have that's being put to good use.
And then John Young's home on C.S. Kroger in White County, his house was blown away. Home on Frank Rachette's place. The home was damaged. House on J.T. Legger place in White County, approximate time 3:42 p.m. Central Standard Time. The unaccompanied house was wrecked. No one lived there, but the damage that was described was the house was wrecked. And then Fenton and Susie Bingman's farm, their home and outbuildings were destroyed. William, I'm not gonna, by the way, this is not gonna be a curse word, that's just how it's said. William Schitt's farm, his farm at 3:44 p.m. Central Standard Time, the home and outbuildings were destroyed. And if I say it wrong, I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say. Be sure to go ahead and correct me, but I'll probably have to end up putting an explicit warning label on this anyway, so all's well. Arthur and Jasper Brown's barn. At approximately 3:45, their barn was blown away. And then a lot of damage indicators going through the rest of White County. Now we're going to move into Indiana because okay, so as it moved into Posey County, Indiana, the tornado destroyed the town of Griffin, which is in Posey County. Numerous homes and structures were destroyed in Griffin. And unfortunately, 25 people were killed. And then the tornado moved into Princeton, moved in near Princeton at approximately 5:18 p.m. Eastern. I have to go ahead and say this because some counties are in the Eastern time zone, and this is one of the counties.
Yeah, I was gonna say because right here on the damage indicator it says 4:18 p.m. So I was wondering.
So the reason why I said 5:18 is because of the time zone.
Oh, okay.
Differentiation. So
yeah,
5:18 would be what it would be.
okay.
So
And
that's something that we have to go ahead and take into consideration here. You know.
Yeah. No, I get you, bud.
Okay, so they actually have a wider click on that Tri-State Tornado Interactive Map button up on top there and continue. I would have clicked on continue so that it would take you there just on that window. It's the same map. Just it's bigger.
That's good.
And it actually shows the entirety of the tornado track.
Yeah. Yeah, it shows all the damage indicators there. And my lord, in Princeton, there's a lot of damage indicators. My lord.
We're back to you being doubles.
And is my mic echoing?
It was a little while ago, but hopefully it's fixed now. I would try to go
is it
ahead
fixed
and
now? Mason, you still with us?
yes, I'm here.
Okay. I thought you was lagging out for a second. Mason, do you think this spot right here is where I think the is where do you think this is where? Hold on, let me see. Trying to find certain spots along the path where they think that there was where they think it was two separate tornadoes. Dang! Look at all the damage.
Area.
Look at all the damage to West Frankfurt right here. And I've personally been to West Frankfurt, and I can't even imagine driving through West Frankfurt and seeing part of the town leveled. So it's a crazy thing to witness or to think about.
Yeah, I also have currently the so on my screen I have the damage indicators. By the way, do you have do you still are you on that wide map thing?
Yes.
You need to change the source to that. There you go. There you go. And by the way, the I'm gonna actually see if they actually have okay, so I'm going to real quick read off information here. So this is what I'm reading is all right. Nick, do you mind going to the beginning of the tornadoes track?
No problem, bud. I got you. I'm over here in Missouri.
Yes.
All right, over here by Ellington. I got you.
All right. So I'm gonna read this real quick. The National Weather Service. Okay, this is a mock-up. These are mock-up warnings.
Okay.
All right. The National Weather Service in St. Louis has issued a tornado warning for southern Reynolds County in southeastern Missouri, southern Iron County in southeastern Missouri, Madison County in southeastern Missouri until 1:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It should say standard time since we didn't observe it back then. Anyway, at 12:45 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles east of Eminence, or 10 miles west of Ellington, moving east-northeast at 65 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado, and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. Radar source, radar indicated rotation, impact. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Ellington around 1 o'clock p.m. Annapolis around 1:15, 5 miles south of Fredericktown around 1:35. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Rediford, Leanna, Saco, and 12 Mile. Precautionary preparedness actions: take cover now, move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows if you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle. Move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Then now we go to the first warning that would be issued by Paducah. Here, the National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a tornado warning for northern Bolivar County in southeastern Missouri, southern Perry County in southeastern Missouri, northwestern Cape Girardeau County in southeastern Missouri until 2:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 1:30 p.m., a severe thunderstorm, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Cobalt, or 5 miles south of Fredericktown, moving east-northeast at 65. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard, damaging tornado. Source, radar confirmed tornado. At 1:15, significant damage from a large tornado was reported in Annapolis. You are in a impact. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. The tornado will be near Alliance at 1:50, Beale around 2 o'clock, Altenburg around 2:15. Other locations impacted by this tornadic storm includes Old Appleton, Longtown, Verona, and Sedgwickville. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Is what they have on that picture. Then the next warning is for Jackson. So this is the next warning. Move over across the Mississippi. So this one starts with tornado emergency for Murfreesboro and West Frankfort, Illinois. The National Weather Service.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just getting ready to ask you that. Do you think with this storm, I would 100% believe that we would have had a tornado emergency?
Absolutely, there would be a tornado emergency, and they're saying it in this mock-up too.
Okay, I just wanted to chime in and say that. I just wanted to chime in and say that.
Okay, so the National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Williamson County in southern Illinois, central Franklin County in southern Illinois, southern Franklin County in south central Illinois until 3:15. At 2:15, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was observed 5 miles east of Longtown, moving east-northeast at 60 miles per hour. Tornado emergency for Murfreesboro and West Frankfort. Hazard, deadly tornado. Source, weather spotters confirmed tornado at 2:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. A very large, destructive tornado was observed 5 miles east of Longtown. This tornado produced considerable damage as it moved through Annapolis, Leanna, and Beth Beale, Missouri. Impact. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. This tornado will be near Gorham around 2:25 p.m., Murfreesboro around 2:35, DeSoto around 2:40, the Hurst Bush area around 2:45, West Frankfort around 3, and Parrish around 3:10 is what this alert says. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include. Okay, so that's where that one ends. They on this website clearly they did not put the entire thing on it. Clearly, so
Yeah.
Me personally, I mean,
so that's a unfortunate thing, but it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's fine, but I still think that there would have been a
we
tornado
know
emergency.
we know what would have happened.
Exactly.
Like
I
we know
guarantee
what the
you,
warning would have said.
you thought the tornado emergency from south of Marion or around Marion earlier this year was the longest tornado emergency that Paducah has ever issued. I guarantee you this one would have been 3 times that. I
It
guarantee
said
it.
tornado emergency for Murfreesboro and West Frankfort.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And just to show you all how far Murfreesboro is away from West Frankfort, here's Murfreesboro right here, and West Frankfort is all the way over here.
what?
So,
Your brother just said what? So, the National Okay, so I'm gonna continue with this one. So this one's for White and Hamilton. So I'm going to
Okay,
repeat it
I
like I
want to go back
usually
to that.
would. Like I usually would for tornado warnings in our market. So the National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a tornado warning for White County in southeastern Illinois and Hamilton County in south central Illinois until 4:00 p.m. At 3:00 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over West Frankfort, moving east-northeast at 55. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard: damaging tornado. Source: weather spotters confirm tornado. This large and destructive tornado has resulted in significant damage in numerous towns along its path, including Murfreesboro and DeSoto. Impact: you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Location: the tornado will be near 5 miles south of McLeansboro around 3:25 p.m., Enfield around 3:35, Harmai around 3:45, Crossville around 3:55 p.m., Grayville around 4:00 p.m. 4:00 p.m. Precautionary preparedness actions. This is reiterating that's a large, violent tornado.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I am a completely get you on that. Like, that's cool that they have mock-up tornado warnings and all of this and that, because this is literally what would have happened if this thing would have stayed on the ground and continued producing damage. This would have just kept on going and going and going and going.
And now this is the final alert that would have been issued. So
All right, Emma, where are
tornado
you at? I'm
emergency.
over here by
Okay,
Princeton, I
so
believe.
yes, tornado
Okay.
emergency for Owensville and Princeton, Indiana. The National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a tornado warning for Gibson County in southwestern Indiana, northern Posey County in southwestern Indiana, northwestern Pike County in southwestern Indiana until 4:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 5:45 Eastern Daylight Time. At 4:45 Eastern, 3:35 p.m. Central, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was observed just north of Carmi, moving east-northeast at 60. Tornado emergency for Owensville and Princeton, Indiana. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard: deadly tornado. Source: weather spotters confirmed tornado at 3:45 Central, 4:45 Eastern. A large destructive tornado was observed just north of Carmi. This storm has had a history of producing significant tornado damage across a very long track. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. The tornado will be near Griffin around 4:00, Owensboro around 4:15, and Princeton around 4:20 p.m. Central, 5:20 Eastern. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Johnson, Kings, and Francisco. And the precautionary preparedness actions are the same as any other tornado emergency. You're in a life-threatening situation. Take cover now is the main messaging on that specific storm. So, just to reiterate on that one here, that's what we would say on that.
Yeah, that's what we would have done today, and I just find it so crazy that something like this was on the ground for this many miles, and a lot of people were unaware of what was coming their way, and a lot of people didn't recognize the tornado because of its shape. Have you heard those stories, Mason?
Okay, so this is going to be these are going to be quotes from St. Louis Post-Dispatch newspaper dated March 20th.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
somebody went ahead and said, all morning before the tornado, it had rained. The day was dark and gloomy. The air was heavy. There was no wind. Then the drizzle increased. The heavens seemed to open, pouring down a flood. The day grew black. Then the air was filled with 10,000 things. Boards,
Oh my lord.
cans, garments, stoves, whole sides of the little frame houses. In some cases, the houses themselves were picked up and smashed to earth. And
So
living
in other words,
too.
lifted off their foundations.
Yes, a baby was flown from its mother's arms. A cow picked up by the wind was hurled into the village restaurant. In the same newspaper, a Gorham schoolgirl tells her experience as the tornado wreaked havoc at the Gorham school. Then the wind struck the school. The winds seemed to fall in all around us. Then the floor at one end of the building gave way. We all slipped and slid in that direction. If it hadn't been for the seats, it would have been like sliding down a cellar door. I can't tell you what happened then. I can't describe it. I can't bear to think about it. Children all around me were cut and bleeding. They cried and screamed. It was something awful. I had to close my eyes. Eugene Porter was living in Murfreesboro when the storm hit. This was him. It was so wide. Usually you think about a tornado, it has a funnel, and it may be a block or two or 3 blocks wide. But something about a mile wide, well, he didn't finish what he said.
Oh, like he just didn't give the rest of his statement or whatever?
He couldn't say anything else.
Oh. Okay, but yeah, I understand what he's trying to say, though, what he's trying to convey to the people who are wondering.
Also from the March 20th edition of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, scenes of suffering and horror marked the storm and fire. Throughout the night, relief workers and ambulance endured to make their way through the streets strewn with wreckage. Fallen telegraph poles and wires and burning embers. The light afforded was that of the burning area. In the Tristate tornado, Mr. Faulkner describes the scene that survivors confronted in the southwest Indiana town of Griffin. When the cloud bloated with debris and tons of river mud had passed over slight rise of land to the east of the village, it left behind a landscape that passed beyond the bounds of despair into unreality. The handful of unscathed citizens from Griffin and surrounding districts were confronted with destruction so complete that some could only guess where they had once lived. The search for families and friends had a special hellishness as fires flickered over the ruins and the injuries wandered about in a daze. Mud so thoroughly embedded in their skin that identification was all but impossible. Given what we know now about March 18th, 1925, it's interesting to reflect on the U.S. Weather Bureau's forecast from that morning, which called for rains and strong winds, shifting winds, when unfolded later that day would undoubtedly prove that to be a huge understatement. And by the way,
I 100% agree with that, by the way.
the Weather Bureau that covered that area at the time was St. Louis.
Yeah. I would assume so.
And these were direct quotes from people. So
that were survivors of the tornado?
Yes. And then,
Okay.
So on this Thursday, December 30th, 1999, former National Weather Service meteorologist Ryan Presley sat down with grandmother Miss Leah Hartman to describe her experience with the Tristate tornado. Even though Miss Hartman resided in Benton for her entire life, she happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time on the afternoon of March 18, 1925. At the time, she was visiting her grandmother's farm, located about 3 miles west of West Frankfort, just south of Bloomfield. She had turned 4, so she could not remember every single detail about the tornado. However, there were certain details about the event that were substantial enough to make a lasting impression, even from a child's perspective. The following in here is her account of the 1925 tornado. Portions have been edited to enhance readability. The meteorologist said, "How young were you when the tornado hit in 1925?" Miss Hartman said, "Well, my birthday was March 3rd, and I had turned 4. So I was quite young when that happened, but I remember it well. I remember it." Presley said, the former meteorologist said, "Where were you when the tornado hit?" Well, she said, I was at my grandmother Lipsy's house in, I guess they call it Plumfield. I don't really call it that because you turn off of 149 on Freeman Spur Road and go to the first road that goes back east. And you go about a tenth of a mile, and that's where the farm was located. We were just at the edge, I would say, of the winds that were going through. So she said, and then the meteorologist said this, "And when the tornado hit, you were visiting your grandmother's farm at the time." At the time, she said, "Yeah, my grandfather had died a couple of years earlier. We had gone there to spend the day with grandma, and it was a pretty day. You know, being a little kid, I didn't pay too much attention to the weather. But as the day went on, it just looked like the rain and clouding up and getting dark. After a while, my dad said, we better go to the cellar." And my grandma, no way she was going to go. And it kept getting darker and darker. And by the time she finally agreed to go, it almost was as black as night when we finally went to the cellar. And I think we just got in there in time because we could hear things that you didn't hear in an ordinary storm. And when we were ready to come out, my dad was a young man then, and he was strong. And he couldn't get the door open. So he worked and worked and worked. And after a while, he got open enough he could get out. And there was a tree that had blown across the cellar door. So remember, when I came out, the first thing I saw by the back steps, there was a long shuttle for a sewing machine, and it had a black thread in it. Of course, I didn't know what it was, and I had to ask my mom what it was, and she was the one who told me. And we had a Model T4 that was practically new. My dad's parents had bought it for him, and I don't know. It must have been around 1920, and he always parked it in the barn that my grandpa had it there. That he kept his horses and plows and stuff like that with the farm with. He always parked his car in there, and it was about 200 feet east of the house when I came out. That car was settling facing the north up the fence that divided the yard and the barn lot, and it don't have a top on it. The top was gone. And on the west side of the fence that divided the two lots, and on the other side was a huge oak tree that looked like somebody had just taken an axe and cut through the tree. So, that's part of the statement. That she
What an
said.
absolutely mind-blowing story to hear. I was just listening to you read it off, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely blown away by some of the survivors' accounts of what the sky looked like in relation to the storm approaching. And it goes back to what I said earlier about many people didn't recognize what the tornado shape was as it approached. Some of them attributed it to a dust or some type of dust or something because they didn't recognize the wedge shape. And stories like this you will hear more and more common as the tornado progresses, and it's just horrifying to hear. And Mason, I apologize for keeping my camera off and my mic off. I'm going to chime in here and there. I'm just making sure we don't have any more technical difficulties, if you get what I mean.
Okay. We're not going to have any more technical difficulties on my end since I'm on my phone now.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something else.
Do I know what it is, Nicholas?
Somebody keeps saying a bunch of words we can't say on here, so I'm going to keep the mic off.
Okay. Why isn't Chris asleep already? It's literally almost 2.
I don't know. It's something you'll have to ask him. But once again, I just want to reiterate, I think I already stated it at the beginning of the episode, that once again, this tornado would go on to injure over 2,000 people and kill over 695 along a 219 to 235 mile track. And the tornado would be rated a F5, which would be...
It was not officially rated, but like I said at the beginning,
it was a rough estimate. I apologize. It was a rough estimate.
Like at the beginning, we can. It's safe to say that it was. By the way, that's not the official number.
Well, I mean, not officially rated, but it's like an estimate of what they were able to come up with all the damage done to
The
previous
Tristate tornado. So I'm talking about like the Like, okay, so let me real quick, I'm gonna pop up on my screen. I'm not gonna show it because, of course, I'm on my phone. Okay, so, alright, I'm gonna say this real quick. So, back in 1925, the damage was over $17 million worth of damage. In 1997 money, that was at least $1.4 billion. And in 2024 money, it's $2.74 billion worth of
Okay,
damage.
so I apologize for the false information I gave earlier. I apologize.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. So, that's, okay, so by the way, that's actually, wait. Okay, so that was actually the, full outbreak, the full outbreak.
Oh, as a whole, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But we do definitely want to go ahead and, you know,
Yeah.
mention that.
Just
So,
want to put that out there.
So the so I'm going to say what this one says. So it says that there was 695 fatalities. It's the current accepted figure. The Weather Bureau initially listed 689 deaths.
Yeah.
The actual number is likely greater than either figure.
Absolutely, because Mason,
Is what they say.
Correct me if I am wrong, but and for those of you watching, this next thing I'm going to say may come off as offensive or something. So if it does, I apologize. But Mason,
Let's not
forgive
do
me
it.
if I am
Let's not do
incorrect.
it.
Huh?
We'll cut that one. We'll just okay. So the Weather Bureau page actually went ahead and listed from Barron. It lists 742 dead. And by the way, back in 1925, they were very racist.
Yeah.
That's something that we definitely have to clarify. These people were very racist.
And a lot of people were not counted in the death toll, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. So with the synopsis I went ahead and mentioned earlier, like I said, by 2 o'clock, the low was centered slightly southwest of St. Louis. As the Tristate supercell neared the Mississippi River, other storms in the warm sector removed from the supercell were initiating around 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Around 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, the low surface pressure lowered to around 998 HPA. Is what it says. I'm gonna see what this is. Because I'm really confused with this one, to be honest with you. Oh, 998 millibars.
Wow.
Okay, so now I know HPA means millibars in this instance.
All right.
Sorry, guys. Now the clarification is it says millibars. It should say millibars. So it was centered over south central Illinois as the supercell was moving into Indiana. The pressure is not particularly low compared to many other outbreak setups, but the pressure gradient was strong, which induced strong gradient winds and significant advection in the warm sector. A very strong low level jet was also in place just above the surface as winds veered with height, resulting in low-level convulgence along the 700 millibar height level west southwesterly around 70 miles per hour, and winds at the 500 millibar level about 90 to 110 miles per hour.
Oh my goodness.
Theoretically, hydrographs returned estimated storm relative environmental helicity values of 340 meters squared per second squared in the vicinity of the Tristate supercell tract. Strong thunderstorms were now scattered throughout the warm sector, and a line of thunderstorms was occurring near the dry line. The supercell appeared to still be discrete and isolated, with severe storms north of Cairo placed well to its south. So, that was the end of that synopsis there. So, most
It is absolutely insane, by the way.
sources say that the injuries from this tornado were 2,027. But Barron and Root says there was 2,756 injuries.
Mind-boggling.
This tornado alone caused $16.55 million worth of damage in 2025. In 2024 money, that's $2.9 billion.
So if this tornado would have occurred today, then it would have been the costliest tornado in history, surpassing the Joplin tornado.
No. The Joplin tornado is still costliest. The most costliest.
Wasn't the Joplin tornado at 2.8 billion?
Let me check that real quick.
Because I believe that this one would have surpassed the Joplin tornado in terms of costly damage that it did. Because I believe the Joplin one's 2.8, and this one would have surpassed it for the damage it did.
Okay, so the Joplin tornado in 2011 money is 2.8 billion. In today money, it's 3.91 billion.
Okay, so the Joplin tornado still beats the Tri-State tornado out by a big margin. Yeah, by a big margin.
And by the way, with all that stuff aside, the Tri-State tornado was on the ground for 3 hours and 45 minutes.
And it traveled, estimately 219 to 235 miles.
Nick.
What?
You may want to retract that statement.
I'm pretty sure it was 219 to 235 miles.
175 to 220 miles per hour.
No. I was saying how long it tracked.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you said miles per hour.
No.
I was just saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
I was just saying how long it was on the ground for.
Between 175 and 200 miles was how 220 miles was how long the tornado was underground.
You sure it was on the ground for 219? Because I've heard from multiple sources that it was on the ground for 219.
Most of the times people say it's like 218.
Yeah.
Nearly 219. And by the way, there was another tri-state tornado that was on December 10th, 2021, which that tornado touched down just to the south and east of Monette and then went through Sandburg in Tennessee. But that tornado was an EF4.
Yeah, that was the one we mentioned that went on to hit near Hayti and hit Samburg and Caruthersville and a whole bunch of other towns.
So we've had a lot of So hold on. An F5 they actually had an F5/F4 in the Soviet Union in 1984.
Yes, they did. But
But
I don't think there's.
they went ahead and downgraded it to F4.
Yeah, but you know how the Soviet Union was. There's some information on it, but there's not like how we have over here in the U.S.
Yeah, because they don't really do much research in those countries. Anyway,
Bro said, "Oh,
they have on a list possible fives, EF5s.
Mason, I'm on the Wikipedia, and it says on here. Let me see. It says it. Let me see. It says the Tri-State tornado disaster in Illinois, the deadliest tornado in U.S. history, the second registered in world history, the 219-mile long path left by the tornado.
So that's a rough estimate because it was between. So they said some sources said 218 miles, some sources said 219.
Yeah, but still, 218, 219, close enough.
And that was not the last EF5 or F5 that hit our area. We did have a F5 impact parts of Perry and Jefferson County back in 1957 on December 8th.
Oh, was that the F5 that hit Sunfield?
Yes.
Okay.
This was on December 18th, 1957. And then the most recent F5 that we can think of. Okay, so they did go ahead and in the last several years, the closest EF5 that has impacted our region, like near it,
I would say I'd probably say Plainfield. I would say Joplin or Plainfield.
It'd probably be Joplin because Plainfield is in the Chicago area. Plainfield occurred on August 28th of 1990. And then the
scariest.
And then the Springfield, the Joplin tornado occurred on May 22nd, 2011. And 2011 was already a busy year for EF5s.
Yeah, there was
There was
6
several.
EF5 tornadoes that year.
And looking at this map, one of the 1974 tornadoes intersected the 2011 track of an EF5.
That's horrifying. Are you talking about the one that hit around Tanner, Alabama?
You're echoing again, Nick.
The 2011 and 1974 tornadoes. Are you talking about the 2 EF5s that hit Tanner, Alabama? Because I believe the Tuscaloosa. I'm sorry, not the Tuscaloosa, but the Hackleburg and Phil Campbell tornado was near Tanner as well.
Yeah, there was also and back on April 8th of 1998, there was an F5 that impacted Birmingham. And this was on the ground for a while, it looks like. Let me see. Never mind. That's 66. This one, it was on the ground for This one was on the ground for a little bit, then it vanished. So we've had F5s and EF5s This is the this is the latest that there's been.
Yeah.
Like it long time ago where that occurred. So if you guys want to go find more information about the Tri-State tornado, go to weather.gov/PAH/1925 tornado. And you'll
Yes, that
find
is a
all the
great source for
information that you want. And
Great source for information, by the way.
you'll find more information on that website. Than we can give you in one day. By the way, that information that I talked about with the warnings, you will be able to also find the mock-up warnings. For what we know now, it's likely that the first warning for the supercell that went on to produce the Tri-State tornado would have been issued by the Weather Forecast Office Springfield for the portion of Shannon County in the eastern part of their forecast area, is what it says on this one.
Yeah.
They didn't do one for that one. By the way, it says, well, while the information contained on this page is only hypothetical, it clearly demonstrates how much the watch and warning system has advanced since 1925 because of the advanced technology and communications system in place today. It is highly unlikely that nearly 700 lives would be taken even by a storm of this magnitude. Keep in mind, however, that even today's warning systems does little good if the public fails to heed the warning's message to take shelter.
I believe if this tornado occurred today, we would have less fatalities because of what you just said. Because of the warning lead time.
We'd have less than 100. We'd have
because of the warning lead time and because of most people get a warning alerts on their smartphones as well in their weather radios.
And by the way, I do have a weather radio. I'm gonna be honest, I like my sleep.
So do I. I'm not trying to get woken up by a
That's like one morning I had my weather radio on at like 2 a.m, and my weather radio went off at 2 a.m. for a tornado watch that wasn't even for my area.
Dude, if that would have woke me up, I would have been so mad about that.
Yeah, and after that, I took the batteries out and unplugged it.
I would have never plugged it up again. I would have just waited for the alert on my phone or something like that because of I would have just downloaded the app and just done it that way.
And then the Joplin tornado had 158 fatalities, and they were direct.
And then there was a couple that were indirect too, which I think raised the death toll to 165.
There were 8 to 9 indirect.
Yeah, and then
that was due to some kind of fungus.
Yeah,
that the tornado picked up. It picked up a fungus that slowly killed people. Unfortunately, with that one. The injuries of that one, there was over 1,150 injuries. And their hospital was destroyed.
I know. Did you see the picture of the helicopter thrown off the roof?
I don't think I saw that, but I know that Mike Bennis, not Mike Bennis, Mike Seidel came into Joplin and he looked at it and he teared up.
I think it was Mike Bettis because there was a couple other people that were there too, like Jeff, what's his name, Petrowski. I can't pronounce his name, but he was chasing the tornado, and he has some amazing footage of the tornado on his YouTube channel, by the way.
I think it was Mike Bettis. He's like, the damage was indicative of Tuscaloosa. Like it reminded him of the damage from Tuscaloosa.
It sure looked like
Is
it,
what he
and
said. Is what he said. He said that while crying his eyes out.
yeah, I think he famously said it's tough, and then he started like doing the, like
Yeah.
sniffing up tears. Yeah, but rest in peace to all those victims, and rest in peace to all the
Oh,
victims of
wow.
this tornado.
Sorry,
One of my favorite artists actually announced a deluxe edition of an album.
You're good, no problem, buddy.
It went to like that. Anyway, I think this is a good time to wrap up our little segment here.
I would say so.
Because like I said, this video has been great to say the least. Wait, is there damage indicators from those other tornadoes?
I
On
don't
that
know.
scene?
Let me look real quick.
Look at
Let
those
me
damage
look.
indicators like to the north there. The northeast. Yeah,
It's just
there's damage
focusing on.
indicators over there. Over
on.
like northern Indiana, central Indiana.
Yeah. Well, let me go over here real quick.
Go check that.
Yep, right here by Seymour
Click on
and
one of them real
Salem.
quick. Yeah, I guess they mistakenly put something from one of the tornadoes.
Yeah, but you were right. There's damage indicators over here by Seymour and Salem.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, all I gotta say is hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We're
Be
going
safe.
to do a normal episode tomorrow, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't, then we'll do another one next week.
We will. We are doing our best to drop these episodes weekly for you guys. We hope you've been enjoying all of them, and we hope you've been learning a thing or two about weather because of this. So we hope you appreciate it.
Let me. I'm gonna have to check the document thing real quick. That document that we made for the episode order. Okay, so on the next episode of Roaring Skies, the normal Roaring Skies, we're going to be talking about April 22nd, 2011's tornado outbreak, and then we're going to be talking about the April 25th through the 27th tornado outbreaks.
Absolutely, because did you want? We're going to be talking about the St. Louis tornado, and we're going to be briefly mentioning the ones from April 25th through the 28th. You said
27th.
27th, yeah. We're going to be mentioning those because there's quite a few that get a lot of attention. There's some that don't get attention, but we will get into that in the stream. I apologize.
And the not stream. This is not stream.
Why is that?
Well, in the next video.
All right, everyone. I hope you guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast and share with the people you know. And please stay weather aware and please stay safe, everybody.
And stay warm because it's getting cold.
And make sure you bundle up because of the cold front that's coming through.
It's already came through pretty much. It's already 45 degrees.
Yeah, and it's only gonna keep dropping, so make sure you bundle up, everybody.
Okay. See ya.